What you got going on over here today, brother?
Oh, hey, what's happening, man?
Hanging out, brother.
Just doing some follow-up on I believe it was a theft recovery.
Oh, theft recovery?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Damn, so South Florida, baby.
Welcome to South Florida.
Welcome to South Florida, man. What's going on, other truckers? Welcome to the Asian My Show. We're here with my dear friend today at LRM with the Master Tech, Foreman, Headhunter. You know,
don't forget an operations officer too.
Is that right?
There's so many titles like I don't remember anymore.
I tell you. So my man runs this shop here, and I would say you guys specialize in Freightliners.
Yes, I would. Consider most of our feed is about 95% of it's all Freightliner.
So, you know, a lot of you owner operators are going to come out the door. Most of you are going to start possibly with a truck that is strong, good, and fair on price. So I would say usually I would recommend the Freightliner, honestly.
Well, Freightliner is well known throughout the U.S. and a lot of technicians, and there's a lot of shops that know about the Freightliner.
So here we are, people. So today we are going to learn about preventative maintenance.
Yeah, whatever truck you do decide to purchase or buy or lease, I would definitely get the owner's manual and look at the maintenance, find out what the intervals are for oil changes, after treatment for your DPF filters, even everything. Well, just to throw, air filters, the air dryer filters, the coolant filters. There's a lot of filters on this truck. You guys need to know when to do the changes, as well as your transmission and your differentials. Everybody keeps forgetting about them, and they take it to a truck stop, and it says it covers up to 5 filters. That's just the engine. You gotta, and when I mean only up to 5, it's usually just fuel and oil. Anything else beyond that, you have to ask for. Nobody, and especially if you're a new operator, you don't know. You just assume that it's part of the service.
Gotcha.
Make sure you ask.
So you gotta make sure you ask.
Yeah.
So
say, hey, check out my air filter. Check out my, what does my tank look like for my air cartridge, my def filter. I mean, there's a lot of filters. Your cabin filter. Find out. Have them check it for you. What condition is it in? Should I replace it? Some of them may even have a gauge for pressure. Have it reaching its tolerance. Replace it.
Man, I love it. So if we're on the topic of preventive maintenance, how much can that really cost you when you're not really checking on your stuff?
It's a lot cheaper to do the maintenance than it is the actual repair. So like for instance, I do actually have one in the shop where the DPF filter wasn't properly maintained or doing its cleaning, and they ignored the light. We had a little bit of back pressure and the pipe blew right off.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Listen, and then, is it in the shop right now?
It is in the shop.
Let's walk it.
We can go back there and take a look at it. What happened was the driver was saying I was not having power, but I have a light on, and it was actually for an EGR valve. And then he calls me back in 15 minutes and says, hey, I have all this power, but I heard something explode underneath my truck. I told him to get out, look on the right side, and tell me if the pipe is still connected to the one box. He says, it is not. And he says, but I have all this power. I was like, well, you had back pressure, and now your truck is breathing. You have all this power. The filter is most likely plugged, which we confirmed.
Really? So, man. So remember, y'all, if that light comes on,
don't ignore it.
Don't ignore it. It's actually coming on for a reason, right, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah, checking your lights are there for a reason. It's to warn you, get to a shop, get it checked out. Don't freak out about it when you see a light on. Do your delivery, determine what it is, talk to your technician if you have one, get someone on the phone, say, hey, this is what the code is, or give you an idea if you can keep going or you need to get to the shop right away.
I got you. And, in a situation like this, if you get stuck and you go to a dealership, how much would this bad boy cost you to fix it or replace it?
So especially for a one box situation in DPF, you can be anywhere in the range of, you can start at $3 and get all the way up to $10,000 depending on the damage.
Damn. So just by you ignoring it, this could be a $10,000 problem real quick.
Correct. So you could have just gotten the filters clean. Some places do it. I know some of the big manufacturers don't recommend it. They'll have you go ahead and replace the filters, but still a lot cheaper than replacing everything. So, if you go to the dealership and get the DPF filters replaced, you're probably looking at about $2 to $3 grand compared to 8 to 10. And then if you get them out and clean them, take it to a place that properly clean them, have it inspected, and throw them in, and maybe get the longevity of the filter, you're probably looking anywhere between with labor and clamps about $1,000.
Are you serious? Because you know what? I got stuck. Something like that happened to me, and I went to the dealership, and of course they just start swapping parts. Next thing you know, I'm spending $3 to $4 grand on the new DPF filter and this and that. And at the end of the day, guess what? It wasn't even the filter; it was a damn sensor.
Yeah. So after treatment is definitely not easy. There's definitely some thinking involved. Make sure you do the proper problem shooting and don't throw spaghetti against the wall.
I heard that, man. So what the hell happened? Let's look at this down here.
So right here, we already took the DPF filters out. They're black as heck, and they're definitely can't get any flow through it. And if you look underneath the truck, you can see where the pipe blew right off the one box from back pressure. And now we have to fix. So there's a good chance that we need to replace the DPF filters. We don't know the condition of the one box yet. But once we put DPF filters in there and then
look at that,
regen and connect the pipe, and hopefully our pressures and our temps look good. But if they do not and they show high, pressure issues or any temperature issues, we may have to swap out a one box.
Man, and how much is a one box?
One box completely naked. That's not included the sensors and everything. You're probably anywhere between $6 to $7 grand.
So wait up. So if you need a new DPF filter, if you need a new one box and everything, you could be upwards at a dealership 15 to 20 grand.
Yeah, could be at a dealership, or if you do it yourself, you're anywhere between 10 to 15,000.
And that's
for everything: sensors, knock sensors,
wow.
pressure sensors, DPF clamps, and so forth.
Look at that! It knocked it right off, brother.
It certainly did, and that's what back pressure would do.
Man.
Now the good news is at least it took the pipe off and not a head gasket.
Now what happens if it took the head gasket too?
Now you're looking at an in frame. And then we've got to see if there's any other damage too, like to the crank and.
So this could go from a $1,000 cleanup fix
to almost 40.
To 40 grand if you mess up everything. And with my luck, I usually mess up everything. So I'm telling you, mother truckers,
do your preventive maintenance.
I'm telling you, man.
That's what's gonna save your truck. It'll last a lot longer. Make sure you stay on top of everything. Anything that's leaking, any check engine lights that come on, don't freak out about it. Have a game plan. Make sure you know your technicians, especially if you're an owner operator. Try to find the local guy that knows about your truck. Ask questions. If you don't know which questions to ask, you may have a friend that may know. Have them talk to the technician. Get a feel for the guy that is gonna take care of your truck.
And most of the time, would you say if you go to a dealership, they're always gonna try and swap parts and tell you they don't recommend you cleaning and baking the filter, but don't listen to them, right? Try that route first.
So the dealership, look, there's a whole bunch of people that go there, their kids are still learning. Then you have some that are there, been for a long time. I'm not going to say dealerships are a bad place just because they do have some good technicians there and some may have bad ones. But the reputation is at a dealership, you're prepared to spend a lot of money just for diagnostics. But if you go to, a friend that they may hook up without even charging you and say, hey, this is the problem. That's a relationship that you build with a technician. When you go to a dealership, there's no really interaction with your technician. It's only the service writer and that's strictly business. So you have a check engine light, they're going to charge you for that. They're going to charge. There are going to be a lot of charges. Where you made a friend as a technician that's been doing this for a long time, they could, hey, I'll hook up to you, I'll take care of it. Just because it takes 10 seconds. Just think about it, 10 seconds to find out what a code is, and they're charging you almost $300, where your buddy would be like, here you go.
Well, you're my buddy. Well,
and how many times I hooked up for you?
I know, all the time.
You just driving by, like, see if I got a code. What do you got going? And I was like, just pull up, let's take a look. And it took 10 seconds to tell you what the code is, and I'll say, hey, go do what you got to do and come back. We'll take care of it. It's nothing to worry about. Or I'll say, hey, we got to get on this quick.
And the reason why I have this man on the show all the time is because, let's be honest, Steve, you're my mechanic. So it is what it is. So the signs of something like this happening, if you lose power.
Well, if you start noticing that there's a power issue, like all of a sudden your truck starts to feel a little sluggish. I know a lot of people want to shoot towards the turbo right away. It's not like that. It's not like the old 60 series, like, hey, I have power. Let's look at the turbo. Sometimes you got to check out, see if you have any back pressures, like your DPF. When was the last time you did a regen? Is there a check engine light? We want to look at all those aspects before determining what the problem is.
Got it, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. What were you saying, brother?
No, what I was telling you is that, we're at LRM. We have a lot of experienced drivers and we got a lot of new ones. And I get a lot of phone calls. One, they don't know what kind of oil to put in the truck. There's some concerns about when to do preventive maintenance. And then the other thing is they freak out when they get a check engine light. They just don't know what to do. You know, when you get in this industry, you know, the truck is always running. That's not like a car. We don't drive it 5 or 10 miles a day. You guys are gonna put thousands of miles. The truck's gonna be running depending on, you know, you're gonna be sleeping in the truck. It's running all the time. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be prepared for those breakdowns. It's just a matter of when. The truck will break down. We gotta get that in our minds, especially as a new owner operator, and have a game plan. Have a certain amount of money reserved in that savings account, and be prepared for a breakdown. Just keep that money ready. That little repair, you know, money to have when you have the concerns. Take a deep breath. Know where to go. You know, truckdown.com. Talk to your local mechanic. You know, especially if you go across states, that's where you start developing relationships. I mean, I live here in Florida, and I talk to, I can't tell you, 50, 60 shops, but I write them all down. Oh, this one's good. This one will take your money, or they just don't care. But I write all this down, so when I have a customer call me, you know, especially new owner operators, I was like, oh, hey, go to this place. Ask for them, say I sent you over there, and they treat you somewhat like family. You know, they try to explain a little bit more about your truck. You know, as an owner operator, know about your truck. Just don't have blinders on. Just don't hold the steering wheel. You know, what are you doing to my truck? Ask questions, especially when you go to a truck stop and you get the oil change. Ask them, hey, what did my oil look like? Do you see any concerns I have? Just don't go in there and say, all right, oil change done, and walk away. Let me tell you something. If they're a proper mechanic, they should always be looking at your truck, and there's usually some kind of issue that you could try to catch before it becomes a big problem. Try to catch the shocks before it tears up your tires, you know. Try to see if the brake chamber is rusted through before it blows out. You know, if you see an oil leak before it gets completely out of control, you know, ask the questions when you go into a shop. Hey, did you see anything else, you know, while you were down there? You know, even if they're doing an alternator. You do an alternator, what do my belts look like? They're right there. You know, did you see any leaks in that area, like coolant, oil, or fuel? They're going to be in the general area. We're not asking them to do a full inspection, but you know, just ask the technician a question. Say, hey, did you see anything in this area? You know, and maybe it may not hurt once in a while. Have someone fully inspect your truck, get an overall condition of what's going on. And if you're the guy that buys a truck and you put a driver in it, you know, it's your truck. You're the one that's going to care about it the most, not the driver. Unfortunately, it's a sad thing. I see it time after time. You know, ask for pictures. Hey, what does it look like? You know, hold the driver accountable. Have them fill out a sheet of paper and send it in to you. So that's just my food for thought.
I appreciate you, brother. Well, thank you. All right, always the best, man.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.